Hi, I'm Gargi Rawat from NDTV, and today I want to talk to you about this massive controversy that has been sparked by Infosys founder Narayana Murthy's comments. He was speaking on a podcast and he was talking about work ethics in the country, and he said that there is a need for youngsters to work harder, and he said he thinks that there should be a 70-hour work week. He said he feels youngsters and he asked them that, there should be a 70-hour work week. He says that India's work productivity is one of the lowest in the world, and asked the youth to contribute towards building the culture so that India can compete effectively on the global stage. Now, obviously anything Mr. Narayana Murthy says and something like this is something that has sparked a lot of interest. There are a lot of comments that have come about it. Many people have supported him, but many have also criticized him and spoken about the need for work-life balance. I think that is one of the major issues that everybody is touching upon, about mental health as well. Saying that where does this leave time for family, for enjoyment, for hobbies, and that it will also lead to a burnout. So I want to take you through some of the comments that have been coming in, by people on social media, because that's where everyone expresses their opinion. Mr. Raj Nayak, who's a media personality, tweeted, or rather posted on X, makes good headlines, sets the narrative for discussion. First, we need to address unemployment before we address increasing working hours. Why not compare with countries like the US and UK? This is because Mr. Narayana Murthy compared with Germany and Japan post-war, and he said that people there really put in extra hours at work to help nation building. Many have found that that comparison is also problematic. So Mr. Raj Naik says, Japan had major labor shortages post World War II and also had forced labor. Thousands of workers died due to poor working conditions and exhaustion. Ronnie Screwwala, a producer, he said boosting productivity isn't just about working longer hours. It's about getting better at what you do, upskilling, having a positive work environment, and fair pay for the work done. Quality of work, he says, is more than clocking in more hours. And I think this is a recurring point that many people make, that it's not necessary that if you're working 70 hours a week that you're necessarily more productive. You could be working 40 hours a week and yet be even more productive, have time to rest, to regenerate, to relax, and come back with more enthusiasm to your work. We have Mr. Shashi Shekhar Vempati. He was somebody who headed Prasar Bharati, and he has tweeted that Mr. Murthy's comments on hard work have a context. As a young Infoscion, somebody who worked for Infosys in the late 1990s, I remember the missionary zeal with which we put in extra hours, not because it was work, but because we were literally making history as India IT firms became global brands. Quantum leaps of what nature happened when you make it about a larger goal purpose and believe in it with a zeal and passion, where the number of hours becomes secondary. This is the context with which the remarks of Mr. Murthy need to be understood. So that's an interesting take as well. Somebody who actually participated in that IT boom. Infosys, of course, is a brand famous around the world. You even have that phrase called Bangalore, which President Obama used, where a lot of jobs in the US were going to India because of the IT companies there. Mr. And Ola's Bhavish Agarwal is someone who's given it a big thumbs up, and he said, totally agree with Mr. Murthy's views. It's not our moment to ignore, to work less and entertain ourselves. Rather, it's our moment to go all in and build in one generation what other countries have built over many generations. So that another take on what Mr. Murthy said. Rajesh Sahni, who's an investor and founder, has said not going to happen. Even 40 hours a week honestly spent on work and produce magic. Companies that grind young people to work aren't the most innovative ones. Let youngsters have a life, I say. In fact, we interviewed, my colleague Pratibha interviewed some youngsters at a startup in Bengaluru, and they disagreed with Mr. Murthy. They said, we'll face burnout, we'll get stressed. And these days, when there's so much a focus on mental health as well as physical health, one has realized that stress can lead to a lot of health issues as well, diabetes, etc. So if you're working hard, you don't take care of yourself. That has been another point that many youngsters made. Another IT professional, Tara, she says that I did work for 70 hours or more than a year while I was in Infosys. Clearly, she calls it the worst phase of her career. And she says the toll it took on my mental and physical health is so much that I haven't fully recovered from my back pain and stress. Another blogger, entrepreneur, and author, Anita Bhogle, has said that hard work is great, but not sure what that means for one, mental wellness, a big issue with youngsters. Number two, women at work. The longer men work, the more difficult it is for women with children to stay in career. So now, the talk of families and men also pitching in at home as well as at work is another point that many are making. So if you ask people to work harder, it means that somewhere something's got to give, and they may not be able to contribute as much to family life. Now, it's interesting that this comment of Mr. Narayan Murthy's came at a time when another video has gone viral, and this is of a woman in the US. This was on TikTok, and of course, it's been shared on other platforms. Brielle Acero, she posted this clip in which it seems she's just out of college and she started working, and she finds the work schedule crazy, and she says this 9 to 5 schedule is crazy. She's I get on the train at 7:30, I don't get home till 6:15 or 6:30, and I don't have time to do anything. She's like, how do you have friends, how do you have time to meet a guy? So this also generated a lot of comments, many criticizing her, saying, oh, this is what Gen Z or millennials, how they treat work, and they're falling apart just doing a 9 to 5 job. But there were others who disagreed and said the 40-hour work week is beyond outdated, and your feelings are totally valid, that maybe the younger generation maybe wants more from life, maybe not just work. But yes, I think what one can take away from a lot of the comments is it's the quality of work that you put in work also. Whether it's you're working for a company and putting in those hours, slogging, and it's someone else who has to benefit. So maybe a way to make the work environment better for the employees so they don't mind working harder, and making it more lucrative for them. Salaries is something that many have commented on, that people aren't paid enough, and it also goes back to whether there are enough jobs out there. So it's interesting to see these huge varied reactions across social media over what Mr. Narayan Murthy said. And just to nuance what Mr. Murthy said, he also was talking about youngsters having a better work ethic and putting in those hours, and and companies performing better for the betterment of the country. So that was the point that he was making. Yes, it's a very controversial take, and something that I think we're going to continue talking about for some time now. Thanks for watching. That's it from me.